My thing looks so dark.
Hey, cuz I got this new. I just went and bought me a new studio light with the halo.
You ain't got you no ring light, do you?
You
I
got
got
your
a
ring
ring
light.
light. Look,
Yeah, you
welcome to
good.
Hot Rods Hour. We will be discussing.
Boy, you
Look, I
crazy.
got me a ring. I couldn't wait. I said, hold on, man. I got a ring light in the truck. Cause I'm always going live. I don't know why I hadn't bought one of these.
Right.
And then it's got a remote. I can make that song bitch go light right and left on your ass. Look, hold on, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can move. Then they can change colors on my head too. We ain't got no battery light.
Welcome to this great roundtable and the discussion we're going to have. And we're calling this segment tonight Life After Coach Prime. As you know, I'm Diallo Morgan, aka Brother Insight, and I had to bring these two beautiful human beings in here with me, my actual blood cousins. They have their swag hours. It ain't no who is swag. They are definitely swag, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. And we wanted to have this conversation because, as you guys know, 2 weeks ago, Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, made the announcement that he was leaving Jackson State, headed to Colorado. And I was like, a lot of people had a lot of opinions. I was like, let's just take an approach where we kind of step back and let everybody say what they need to say, wait till after the Celebration Bowl, and then have a conversation about it. So, and I'm glad we did that because we now have more information and are able to make great assessments and have, I think, a better take on it than most other people that just want to try to be first. So I'm going to go to my cousin first. Well, they're both my cousins, to Miss Keisha first, and let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about what you do in the industry you work in, and I'll yield the floor to you.
Okay, I am Keisha Shelby, but social media, everybody knows me as Keisha Latrice. But as Dee mentioned, I am SWAC. What a lot of people don't know, because I'm so diehard Alcorn, is my fam, all Jackson State.
Yes.
I was born into Jackson State. Like I grew up.
I think, is it just you or Auntie Betty? Y'all the only Alcorn.
The only ones. The only ones. Yeah, so I was born into Jackson State, but later on down the line, I saw the light, and I had to go into another direction. So it is what it is. But yeah, I am currently working in college athletics. I've been doing this now for almost 7 years. I have made my rounds in the SWAC.
Right.
I have, I did a brief stint at my alma mater at Alcorn. Then Grambling, then skipped over to the SIAC, went to Lane College, Division II, then came back to Mississippi Valley.
Right.
And so since Mississippi Valley, I have, gone, I would consider, what we call the big league, Power 5. I am currently at the University of Texas at Austin. And this whole journey of getting to this point where I am now in my career, I would not sit here and say that it was like I said it, I knew what I wanted to do, but I would be lying if I said that I actually believed that I would be where I am right now.
Wow.
Like everybody can tell you, you're good at what you do, you got it, I see it, I'm proud of you, but it's like it was still something in me. It's like, am I good enough? Am I good enough? And through some of my experiences, I'm not gonna lie, even at our schools, I felt not good enough. But it was like this year, it was a whole lot. Like it was a rough year. And I took a leap of faith. And when I started applying for jobs, I was like, I'm going to focus on something new. I'm not going to keep circling in that same pot.
There you go.
I'm not going to keep calling on those same people. Let me try something new. And no, it wasn't like as soon as I applied, okay, yeah, I got the call. I had countless rejections. Countless. I mean, people telling me, I was overqualified. I didn't have enough, experience. It was just a whole thing. And then even with the position that I'm in now, I was reluctant to apply for it because I'm like, ain't nobody from Texas about to interview me and give me a job.
Right.
And I applied, I had the interview. The next week, they asked, okay, if I wanted to come to campus. And I'm like, heck yeah. Like, how soon do you want me there?
Right.
And came here, for my own campus interview. I had never been to Austin, had never been on this campus. And my mind was just blown because all I saw was money.
Right.
Like this was
Austin
stuff
different.
that I was not used to, at our schools. I love my HBCU. I mean, bred HBCU, but I have seen stuff here that, like, man, it is amazing, like mind blowing. So it was like maybe a week and a half after, the lady called me. Not only did she offer me the position, but she said, because of your background, because of your experience, I can't pay you what was advertised. I have to pay you more.
Wow. What they do that at? Wow.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, no. Okay.
Right.
Let me tell you something. I got that call on September 17th. I didn't even tell anybody. No, I told one person as soon as I got the offer. But after that one person, I didn't even tell anybody for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Because it was like too good to be true. Because I was waiting for something to happen. I was waiting for them to call me and be like, okay, we got to wait, or we can't do it. I was waiting on something. Even after they sent me my official offer, I was looking at it in black and white, and I was still like, I'm scared to say anything. I'm scared to even just like embrace this because I'm waiting on something to go wrong.
Right.
Right up until the weekend I was getting ready to move, I was still thinking something is going to go wrong. But it was that weekend that I actually like told everybody. I was like holding it in. Like I didn't even want to share it.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't even shared with anybody that I'd applied for it.
Right.
I told one person that I was coming here for that interview. I kept it all to myself.
To yourself, yeah.
And I felt like this is what I need to do for this, because in the past, I'd be calling, hey, somebody that work here, or and every time you talking to people, everybody ain't speaking your name positive.
No, that's real. That's real.
Say that again.
If they even speaking at all, because they can easily say, oh yeah, I'll give such and such a call.
Right.
They never do. And the lesson I learned is the people that you think are in your corner,
right,
the main people who telling you, yeah, I got you, and yeah, I'll connect you with my guy or my girl or whatever.
They root against you sometimes.
The main ones that's speaking against you.
Mm-hmm.
And this year has revealed a whole lot of that to me. A whole lot. So I'm taking like a brand new approach to everything, like personally, professionally, because since I've been here, I've already grown. Because I see things being done the way that they should be done. And people who don't want to silence me, but we're in meetings, they want me to talk. They want me to give my ideas. They want me to speak,
Right.
And that has been a huge adjustment for me.
Right.
Because they asked me, like, coming from where you've been to a school like Texas, like, what do you think would be like your biggest challenge? And I'm like, it would be getting adjusted to not having to do it all.
Right.
Getting adjusted to actually having what you need to do your job.
Wow.
And there are still days when I sit and I'll be like, I wonder if, I could do this or we could do this. And I'd be like, oh yeah, we got this. It's every week. It's like unlocking another level of resources. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. So now, Kelso, I don't mean to cut you off, but what I'm hearing is Roger, and you can echo this. She got elevated like Prime to Power 5. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, cuz I was sitting here like a Prime. You know how the low folk, you cross your leg like Mr. Smile, that long leg cross. I heard what her testimony, what she just said, is exactly embodies Coach Prime coming to an HBCU and exactly what he was talking about, the some of the hurdles that he had to work with. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I heard a lot of things in you saying that, well, I didn't feel like I was good enough. He came in and he said, why aren't we good? Why aren't you thinking that you're good enough to go out there, whether I'm here or not?
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Mindset. And that's one of the things I've been screaming all. I was like, I'm not the. Hold on. First of all, let me back up. I go to running my deck.
Right. Let me go ahead and just introduce Hot Rod. Tell us about yourself, because y'all probably know him from his videos on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. He the superstar of our family, but go ahead.
Well, look, my name is Roderick Russell. Mm-hmm. Yes, these are my cousins. But I go by Hot Rod from Rolling Fork, the home of Muddy Waters. You better know it. So I grew up in Rolling Fork, Mississippi, small town. Me and my cousin Keisha there. Went to Rolling Fork High, graduated from Rolling Fork High. Parents were both teachers, so it was kind of the thing in your blood, you know. We oftentimes as kids want to run away from what we saw and the examples we were given. Once I locked in on what was there for me, and what was within, everything was smooth sailing. Went on to Jackson State University, graduated from tried and true, you know, Tiger Blue. I love the Now let's not. And also, I'm an retired Army officer, veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. Now in my retirement, I just decided I needed to do something else. So I started up my trucking company. So I do that. And I'm pretty much on apprenticeship of mechanic. Hey, hand me the seconds real quick. Look, but you know what I'm saying? It does get interesting. But, and I also, the thing about it is I also went back and I was a school teacher. I was a school teacher. Coach.
You was teaching when I was down there.
Right. Yeah. I was a school teacher, coach, basketball, football, and the whole nine. So this whole education, him coming in, the whole hoopla he bought, the whole bravado of Coach Prime, he brought a mindset into the SWAT that when I saw about the hire, I don't mean to just go with this, but when I heard that he got hired, man, as a matter of fact, I released the video. I was in my 18-wheeler that day. I put a football outfit on. We finna go. We got what? See, let me bring this into context now. 1993, I was at Jackson State, a freshman.
Right.
You playing Sega upstairs with all the guys piling a room. You just coming off eating Super Tecmo Bowl on the Nintendo. There are certain players that when you sit down, cuz you know this.
Bo Jackson, Deion,
Jerry Rice. You just drop back with Joe Montana and throw it from one end to the other on take a ball with Jerry Rice. And Deion primetime Sanders.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I heard, man, this man had from the time he's a master marketer. From the
absolutely.
Time he left Florida State when he was at Florida State. So my thing was, ooh, Prime, you just got beat by. And I'm going to bring it. You just got beat by MRA right here in Jackson. Madison Ridgeland Academy. Mm-hmm. But thinking outside of the box. Just like Cuz just said, as far as on with her and her career. She thought, you know what? I cannot keep working in this same what? The same circle. I got to change. Without change, there is no progress. Ashley Robinson, I keep taking my hat off to him as the athletic director, whatever, head of sport. Mm-hmm. He thought outside of the box when going at this man. Oh, you just lost to Madison Ridgeland, so y'all might be a little padded as far as stats. But when you sit down, here's the thing about Coach Prime that I saw. He came in with a polarizing personality he can stand. He's very charismatic. So that's what made him the masterful marketer of himself.
Right.
Going from Florida State through his career until now. You know what I'm saying? So now we got an opportunity for our kids to have a light of this nature. Oh man, that was a win-win situation. Now the thing is, where we gonna buy into it and absorb that mindset so we can what? Keep that wheel rolling, because to be absent of the body is to be present. That means he tell you, you will not be here in the physical always.
Right.
We oftentimes, we run away from that was right there in front of us. That what we say guides us.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, you got a polarizing mentality, personality. When that light come on in that stadium, it ain't shining on what? One sideline. I've always said that.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Houston left Jackson State, he wouldn't have got seen if you didn't have that light in there. Somebody saw that kid. Now, I'm not saying they hadn't already seen 44 from Alcorn, but now when you get against who is projected was number one, FCS going through the entire season, and you see 44 from Alcorn coming out there, and somebody pulled deer piss on Shador Simon. Somebody pulled deer.
Oh yeah, I had, and I try to stay away from the social media debates and all that stuff. For one,
I'm proud of you, cuz, because you used to be debating a lot. Me and you both have grown. I'm so proud of you.
Right, and I try to stay. I try to stay away from it, especially when it comes to sports, because I know there are people who only see it from a fan perspective.
Right.
But I see it from both sides. I see it from a fan, and I see it from seeing stuff from behind the scenes, and knowing how some of this stuff goes and how these decisions are made. And a lot of times, what looks good once it gets out in front of everybody doesn't necessarily mean that that's how it looks behind the scenes. But we gonna put our best foot forward. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, when you was talking about number 44, I'm like, okay, wait a minute now. We ain't gonna give Prime credit for everybody playing the way that they've been playing.
That's
because
true.
we, I think the reason that a lot of people feel like, he brought this or he brought that. Now, I am not here to say that he didn't bring all of that in to some degree. But I'm also knowing that there are coaches who they're the complete opposite of him.
Your coach, Fred McNair.
They work in silence. We have scouts at mostly all of our games.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not something that we got to broadcast.
But
they're not there, they've already seen these kids, so they're watching them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's not like nobody else, from other schools are just unknown until they play this particular team.
Right.
And I don't want that narrative to get, in the mix as if we ain't been,
I have y'all out for that too. Said just
that that whole, and how people have put out their little think pieces and their list of he did this, or if it wasn't for him, this when what he put HBCUs on the map. That's a lie. That's a whole lie.
Yeah, for sure.
We've been lit. We've been here. Right. People been knowing about HBCUs. Now, whether or not they want to pay attention to us, that's a choice.
Right.
But we've been here and they know about us. I mean, because when you talk about what HBCUs produce, judges, doctors, lawyers, when you go look at those numbers, they know about HBCUs. You better know that. They just choose not to pay attention to us.
Right.
That's all it is.
That's the key right there, cuz. I think
so even with the whole thing about being good for all HBCUs, I could never buy into that. Prime was good for Jackson State. It was excellent for Jackson State. Now, when it comes to the implication that other people didn't want him here, or the other coaches were against him and all that, I'm not buying into that. Because to me, that's a dog whistle. And you want to say that, these other coaches are hating on him and this, that, or whatever. And I'm just speaking from conversations that I've been a part of with other coaches.
Right.
It's not about we don't like him or we didn't want him here. But these men have paid their dues.
Right.
These men have, as the kids say, got it out the mud.
That's
they
real.
have worked their way up. So Prime coming into the coaches fold, it's not that we don't want him here, we don't like him, but dude, you're our competition. From a coach's perspective, you're just another coach.
Right.
They ain't buying into the celebrity, and all that. They don't care nothing about that. Right. So it's like it was almost like the expectation of these other coaches, these other grown men were supposed to just like kind of bow at his feet and all of that, and they weren't going, and he was feeling some type of way about it. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's the other 11 coaches in the conference. This is their livelihood.
Right.
They need that check.
Right.
Prime could walk away from Colorado right now.
And good.
He'll be just fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no, it ain't all. We're not gonna get into. And then the things that he said he wanted to change, or he wanted to talk about changing.
Right.
How we grew up, as the old folks say, it's a way to do anything.
I agree.
And if you wanted to bring those things to the table to see how we could improve them or we could change some things, let's do it the right way. See, because everybody wasn't about the whole, like, we just finna, undermine people and we gonna go around the people who, who really ultimately make the decision. Right. Like, they were willing to say, okay, if we gonna go to the table together and talk about this, we're not gonna go behind nobody's back, underhanded stuff. So I think, I don't know everything. I don't know all the pieces of it. I have not been a part of all the conversations, but these are just conversations that I have had with coaches that, I respect, and I know that they ain't just, throwing no BS out there. It was just the way that he would approach things, and they just couldn't, they couldn't roll with it.
They wasn't rocking with it. And
for him to take that as, they hating on me, or they don't want to do this, or they don't want to change, man, if he would really sit down and talk to those coaches and find out all of the stuff that they have dealt with to even put somewhat of a good product on the field.
And let me interject right here. I think what you just said, that last statement was very important. And I think he started to experience that and started to see that as he stayed at Jackson a little bit longer, because when you look at your former coach from Valley, who I always send you messages about, I love Vincent Dancy, and unfortunately he's with Deion now in Colorado. To see the product that he would put out on the field and know the things that he was up against and the things that he was facing, it was like he was doing magic tricks every week. Because anybody will tell you they don't want to play Mississippi Valley. You might win the game, but you go earn it. You go earn it.
You gonna earn it.
When Keisha was talking, Valley was always even when Coach Prime was here, Jackson State's biggest, one of their hardest games. Yes. We always barely got out of the stadium with a win. And here's the thing that I told other family members, but it's like a broken refrigerator. I can't hold it in. But I look at him coming here and coming into the SWAC. See, I don't want you here because you come here and I heard somebody make this statement when he first got hired. Man, he just got the job because of who he is. And I looked at him like they had boo-boo walk right across the forehead. Are you serious? Because of you got to understand it, and this is where, and like we talk about, here's the thing. Look, let me take my hat off. How many other Black coaches or coaches in general have come out of Black HBCU, Black college football, and gone to a Power 5 school?
No, they don't. They ain't coming straight out going there.
No, I mean, how many other coaches have come out of a HBCU
and became a Power 5 coach?
Head coach. We had one that was a candidate. I had the qualifications. Who was that? But what did he do? He jumped back to Tampa Bay. Who drafted him first? That was your boy, you know who I'm talking about. Won the Super Bowl.
Doug Williams.
He jumped. He didn't go. He had won 3 back-to-back SWAC championships. Not a Power 5 look at all.
But you know what?
Hold on.
I'm not even sure if Doug wanted to go Power 5.
Not one Power 5 look. What did he do? He left Grambling and went back to Tampa Bay. See, they knew who Doug Williams they were. They knew what they were getting in the employee, but the Power 5, big-time college football was not opening their door. Now, I'm not saying I'm just all on board with Prime League, but
I don't, if I'm not mistaken, I've never heard anybody say, and of course, you know, I haven't heard Doug ain't told me this himself, but I never heard any chatter that Doug wanted to go to a Power 5. I think Doug coming to Grambling was because he went to Grambling.
Right.
I think that's what that was all about. And they needed Doug to kind of come back and
steady their program,
rebrand them, and kind of, you know. I don't even think he ever intended to stay as a college coach. Like I don't even think that was ever a long-term thing for him.
Well, he never wanted to he was a coach, but so he never had aspirations of being a head coach. Even to go back to so you were saying he never had aspirations to be even if he didn't look at on the Power 5 level in college ball.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think that was just something that Doug wanted to do. Yeah, he wanted to be successful while he was doing it, but I don't know if he ever even wanted to do. Here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he wouldn't have stayed at Grambling long term.
Right.
I don't know if he ever aspired to go up to a Power 5 to be a head coach.
But the thing, what I'm saying is not his aspirations. The success he had at Grambling.
You saying they should have came looking for him? That's what you're saying. The
success he had at Grambling.
But do we know that they didn't though?
Now,
do we know that they didn't?
All the time. You remember during the time when Doug Williams left Grambling. What do you remember? What chatter from a Power 5 that they were looking at him to come and take over their program?
Well, not saying it was made public, but we don't know if anybody ever reached out to him.
If a Power 5 school reached out to Doug Williams, you are on that level. If a Power 5 school, even to meet the quota sometimes, is going
you said it would have leaked out, we would have heard about it.
You're gonna see it across the bottom of the screen.
Right. But then at the same time, though, Doug moves kind of different.
Yeah, Prime is live.
Doug moves different.
But did you see what Doug said?
Under the radar. Doug don't like to be. That ain't him.
But did you see what Doug said about Coach Prime being at Jackson State and for the HBCU?
He said he loved it.
Different personality.
Yeah.
But did you see what he said about Coach Prime being at Jackson State and what he?
Everybody know how to turn it on when the camera in front of him. He was not gonna sit. I mean, and I'm not saying what he said about Deion wasn't true. I'm not questioning what he said. But what I'm saying is when the cameras are on and people are of a certain status, like they know, they know how they need to, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but he didn't turn up, put on no show. Only thing Doug said, he says the kids, and this is where I say we cut our nose off to spite our face. You got Houston that's at the Detroit Lions this year from Jackson State. Tell me how many kids from Alcorn, Jackson State, Valley, go through the swag. How many got drafted? How many draftees did you have last year?
I think it was only 2.
The last 5 years.
I mean, shoot, we go back as far as the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I guarantee you.
And I mean, it's like they might get a look. They might get a go in as an undrafted
practice squad.
Whatever, something like that. But
I'm not saying what you were saying is wrong, but I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. Because what you said about the HBCUs have always been, but you know what HBCUs, and guess what you made? I was waiting to bring, I almost forgot it. The resources that you say you have now, and the troubles that you had when you were in the SWAC, you say you kept dealing in that same circle, but you needed to change where? Up top for yourself. See,
and the thing is, though, the mindset was always there.
Yes.
always thinking bigger.
Yes.
But it was about, did I believe it? Like,
Right.
did I believe I could actually do it? Did I believe that somebody from a Power 5 school would actually even look at my resume? You know,
yes. We on the same page, girl. We on the
without
same
me having some middleman. So
there you go.
we want to go to the resources part. Okay. HBCU sports, especially football, shoot, have made, you know, like, it's been the thing. You know what I'm saying? But of course, we know when it came to the point where the white schools couldn't beat us no more. And when Bear Bryant said, I got to get me some of them.
That's exactly what he said.
That's what he said. I got to get me some of them. I mean, even they told me the whole history of the dude here that the stadium named after, you know, and how he felt about, shoot, not just black players, but even women's sports. He didn't even want women's sports here.
Wow.
So, you know, it's like, trust me, I have learned some history since I've been here.
Yeah, that's dope.
But, you know, it's like ever since then, they've been able to bait us in.
Right.
That their stuff is better. And
white ice is colder.
I'm going to tell you what a lady, we had some recruits here this weekend. And one of the parents said to me, because we started talking about HBCUs, you know, limited resources, all that kind of stuff. And I talked about just Mississippi, you know, because I feel like the schools in Mississippi, that's what I can speak on.
Right.
But I don't know how other states are operating and all of that. I mean, you know, I haven't just been tuned into it the way that I probably could be. But anyway, what she said was, we'll never be on a level playing field when it comes to schools like Ole Miss and Mississippi State, because you got to think about it. IHL, the governing board of the state institutions. You look at the board of trustees. You know, all of those people got some personal ties to those schools.
Correct.
That long, old money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't compete with that.
Right.
We can't compete with it because they're going to always have money that they can personally pour into their
school. Yep.
And they're going to always make sure that they have the businesses, corporations, whoever, they are pouring into their schools.
Right.
I'm not saying that we can't do it maybe on a level that could make us better, but we will never, because every time we start to elevate, they're going to do more to make sure they get further ahead of us.
Right. And they've had such a greater head start too.
I go back to when we had our president at Alcorn, Dr. Brown. Dr. Brown said to me in a meeting one time, he said, every school within IHL has a script to follow. You go outside of that script, you got a target on your back. While he was there, he put Alcorn like up there. You know, we HBCU of the year, we getting this award, that award. He was smart. And he didn't go to the table as a yes man. He went to the table with solutions. He knew people. He knew how to raise our brand. They didn't like that. He was only with us, 3 years? Probably, I mean, since Dr. Washington, who was there when I first went to Alcorn, and I only had him as a president for maybe like a year. So Dr. Brown came and he revived something that we knew that Alcorn could be.
Right.
That's frowned upon in Mississippi, because how dare
you think you gonna be on the level with Mississippi State and Ole Miss? We
still didn't have all the money that we needed, you know, but we was getting the money coming in. But it's like they're gonna always, you know, make sure they're a step ahead of us. So it's like it's bigger than, you know, people talking about alumni need to do this, alumni need to give. No doubt, alumni need to give. We need to do better with our giving. But alumni cannot sustain a university.
That's a fact.
We cannot sustain a university.
Now, let's get back on track a little bit, because I love the history lesson. I love the fact that you guys are laying a great foundation for the people, especially the people up north and in the Midwest and the East Coast that don't know this information and this history about what goes on at HBCUs and how they're, you know, improperly funded and things of that nature. But I want to kind of take it back to Deion in this one regard. He was only at Jackson State for 2.5 years.
Right.
And the way he sold him coming there was trying to equal the level of the playing field when why 4 and 5 stars can come and play for HBCUs. So in my eyes, I look at it as if he was selling the program to these 4 and 5 star kids, and he would be there for a longer period of time than what he was actually there. But what are you all's opinion about just him as a coach? And then we'll dig deeper into how he made the decision and things of that nature. I'll go to you first, Keisha.
So, like I was saying, my personal opinion about him coming to the SWAC and coaching and all of that. I mean, first of all, Deion gonna be Deion.
Right.
You know, who he is as a coach is who we've always known him to be. That was no surprise to me. Like all the fanfare that was around him, you know, being hired and how he was introduced. I mean, it was on par for who Deion is. The whole concept of, you know, we can bring our kids to us. I mean, I've been believing it.
Right.
I've been believing it. But, you know, we have parents, we have family members who, you know, you might have a very talented athlete and they will be like, nah, you don't need to go to no black school because you ain't gonna do this, you ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, why did it take for Deion to tell you that it was possible when just folks like me, the average been telling you all along? You know, and I always take the story back to, you know, you already know who I'm about to talk about. I always take the story back to
Mac.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew she was gonna say Mac.
Exactly, because a lot of people don't know the schools that were after him coming out of high school.
Talk about that. Go into that, please.
I know. I think it was Florida. I think
Notre
Dame.
Dame. They wanted him to play quarterback.
They wanted him to play defense.
Yeah.
And he was like, he wanted to play quarterback. Alcorn is the only school that was after him that would let him play quarterback. And you see what happened.
And his brother, he had ties there too. His brother,
right? Because Fred had already played there.
Right.
Fred is the original Air McNair.
And
so you know, it was the ties there. It kept him at home basically. I mean, because Steve was never a city boy, you know what I'm saying? He was country through and through. So him being able to play at home meant a lot too. But a lot of people don't know that. He could have chose to go to those larger schools to play the position that they wanted him to play. And that's another thing brings me to this. I mean, it's kind of off top.
No, you good.
You know, it's like he wanted to play quarterback, but he was a black dude. They weren't trying to let no black dude play quarterback.
Right.
So he followed he followed his heart. He followed his passion. And he was like, okay, if this is the school that's giving me the opportunity to play the position that I want to play,
right,
this is where I'm going. And look at how that worked out for him.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it just kind of brings me back to, it's like, yes, I like the way that Deion, you know, he got Jackson State, you know, energized. He got the people going, you know, he got the people to.
He got them believing.
But why did it take for Deion to come in to do that?
Right.
Why couldn't we have that pride before Deion got there? Why couldn't we? I mean, because listen to me.
I can answer that question.
Growing up, going to Jackson State football games when W.C. Gordon was the coach.
And
the vet was packed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I tell people all the time, I remember those days. Like when Jackson State folks want to, you know, like attack me, we ain't just I know you ain't just started doing this.
You was there.
No, is why did it take for this person?
Cole, let me answer that question for you. Come on. It's burning me up, Cole.
Come on.
It was not. You are absolutely right once again. But what is a couple things you missing? You leaving out. Poor administration in the office of some of these schools will always. We had W.C. Gordon was a lifer almost. He's one of those Eddie Robinsons. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then you got Big Daddy
Gordon, Reno Castle, and Eddie Robinson.
Exactly. So now, and this is where, and what I believe, I'm glad Ashley Robinson thought outside of the box. He didn't see as far as the X's and O's expertise in Deion. He saw where the front office at Jackson State had screwed the pooch in so many ways a couple times with coaches like Bell, Hughes, that
Harold Jackson
found on our program.
Yeah.
Jackson State University was a fan base that was used to winning. You pointed out Steve McNair. Let me give a few more. Donald Driver. John Theory in 1990 was drafted, went to the Minnesota Vikings.
No, he went to the Bears.
He went to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Fernando Smith was at Jackson State. He went to the Minnesota Vikings. 2 defensive ends. We had Louis Tillman. You had Fred and Tim Barnett. One went to the Kansas City Chiefs. The other one went to the Philadelphia Eagles. You had Walter Sweetness Payton, who got up and he's in his Hall of Fame inductee speech. He said, I had offers to go anywhere in the United States I wanted to, but my grandmother sat me down and said, son, it's good to go some of those bigger places, but are they gonna care about you, the man, the person? Are they gonna be able to understand you? And we can go on. Corey Bradford. See, why I say that it was a good thing to me, in my opinion, because he bought a marketing mindset. We've always, and a lot of people, old players and alumni alone, was, we've been the SWAC. We get so tied up and want to say we've been this that we forget we had this low spot here. Right. And with everything, the light kind of started to dim. And then we needed sometimes when your battery going dead and your car, you need to do what?
A jump.
You got to jump it out. And our battery had run so low in the SWAC, and they were spinning the narrative. You look at all your media outlets, Fox Sports, ESPN, all of them were saying that the SWAC, especially HBCU ball, was not producing, you know what I'm saying? Now, they were Youngstown State, who is 1AA also, but you can get kids.
That's right up the street.
Yeah, but HBCUs, those kids are not on the quality and the level. And we started to once we started to spin that narrative, they used us to spin out the very narrative. That Corey Bradford, 1 year at Jackson State University, his last year eligibility, he had been walking around campus. He had ran track though. 6'1", now 6'2", 100 and probably 90-pound wide, and he wasn't even playing. He was out there playing pickup ball. The guys on the team like, Corey, man, why don't you come out for the team? Asked me, he went to the Blue and Gray Senior Bowl, the Disc Bowl. He shattered the records, and he also got drafted to the Green Bay Packers in 1 year out of Jackson State. Yeah. John Madden said on the national TV that Corey Bradford, and I just described you, T.O., I just described it. He was a tall, if you put him side by side with T.O., when he was at that you had T.O. He was this is your new prototypical receiver. It wasn't Terrell Owens. It wasn't all these other receivers. He pointed at Corey Bradford, a 1 year starter out of Jackson State University. See, we've always been that, but I feel, it's just in my opinion, we needed a joke. He bought a joke here, and the light was on.
Right.
Houston got seen because that light, if you ask me before Prime got here, if Houston is out there doing the same thing, but they ain't playing nobody.
Well, I won't say that now because I look at this though.
We weren't getting drafted, cuz.
But listen, you mentioned Donald Driver.
No, I'm talking about
what I'm saying, like. But I know, but let me bring it into context though.
Right.
Like we were in school together.
Right.
When Driver was playing, we wasn't even winning.
Right. Yeah.
So here's my point though. If you got it, they gonna find you. They gonna see you. It doesn't matter if you shattering records or not. And he ran track too, and that's what got him his speed.
Right.
He didn't win no games. We went through a 20-year drought. We went through a 20-year drought after Steve. So,
right. Yeah. I remember I was
here and there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but the right person saw him.
Right.
And he went, the boy went in the 7th round of the draft. Like, who survived the 7th round?
Now, not talking about when driving them, because you know when now during that time you talking about, I can tell you. Now you look in Jackson. You say y'all want to drop. We had at you had what's the boy now quarterback, but I know you had Graydon Pratt was at quarterback. You had Sylvester Morris on one side, went to the Kansas City Chiefs. You had Corey Bradford the year before, they played on the same team with the running back, Destry Wright, 6'2", 195 pounds, the 205 running back out of Clarksdale, Mississippi, went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Only thing happened, blew out his knee. Got hurt. So, I mean, even though you all were on a low point because you took a big hit behind losing Steve McNair, losing John Theory, all those players at one time when they graduated, it's a reset process on whether it's HBCU or PWI. But if you look at the narrative of the last 5 to 10 years pointed at HBCUs, see, just like I said, administrative support will kill a program.
Most definitely, because whether we want to acknowledge it or not, athletics is the front porch to any university.
Right. Absolutely.
We had Comedy in here. Comedy came in here with a mindset that I'm going after whoever I want, and that the hope. This is before the transfer portal, but Comedy he knew. Well, I can go to them kids if they don't want it. He got in a little trouble up there in Notre Dame, out there in Florida State. He said, come on here. Now, think about that year when Comedy was here. We won one, the SWAC challenge. We went 2 times, back to back. We won one, all right? So, but we had kids, but it was because of a rift from administration. They couldn't let go of some old whatever.
Right.
You ran Comedy off.
And I still been saying, y'all been cursed since then.
You know,
I've been saying y'all had the Comedy curse because she did that dude wrong.
I'm like, when we gonna understand that we kill ourselves because we are petty?
Yeah,
I mean, that's because the good Lord told me, man, you better say your blood pressure go up. We petty.
But it's the truth though, and that's why I said like I've seen some things, from
said, don't let my confidence offend your insecurities. He said, do not let my confidence offend your insecurities. There's a point.
But let me speak on that though. It ain't even always coaches who come off as as people say, Prime is arrogant and he whatever. Like it's just. You gotta have the right pieces in place because if a school is not investing in their athletic programs, you ain't. It's not gonna happen. Even with our limited resources, you have to get creative. You have to find ways to make it happen. Yeah. You gotta go out there and I'm gonna just speak to this. Mm-hmm. You look at where Alcorn is, we in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you got Vicksburg and you got Natchez. We right in between the two. So you think about when you got games, especially you say homecoming, Soul Bowl. I'll say those two. Mm-hmm. And when we play Southern, we know that's the people coming.
Right.
They staying in Vicksburg, they staying in Natchez.
Right.
They eating in Vicksburg, they eating in Natchez. Alcorn administration should be able to go to anybody's business in those 2 cities and demand whatever they want.
Right.
Because from that school being where it is, and the people who have to come through those places, they eat, they stay there, whatever, they should be able to go to the table and ask for whatever they want.
Yeah. To drive that point even further, I think that Jackson State should be able to do the same thing when you talk about Ridgeland, Madison, Flowood. Because a lot of people is staying in those outskirts. They're not staying inside of Jackson. So you're absolutely correct.
I want to go there with this conversation because I don't know if y'all want, because I don't mind.
We can do it.
It goes back to having administration who want to go out there and not being petty, and because you feel like the coach got more popularity than you got, so I ain't gonna do this and I ain't gonna do that. For the sake of my sanity and with me, I still got to keep it somewhat professional on here. I ain't gonna say all that I can say, but this one of them conversations for the backyard. The next time we together,
right?
I can really give y'all a real spill on some stuff. But that's and of course this made national news, so I'm gonna bring this up. But last year when Coach Mack had to say on his radio show, when he's asked about our athletic trainers. All he said was, I don't hire and fire trainers. That's on the administration. He ain't tell not one lie.
Right.
Because people were coming at him, why you ain't doing this and why you ain't doing that? I'm the coach. I don't have the power to hire a trainer. Right. That ain't up to me.
Right.
So you had an administration who was refusing
to
hire athletic trainers, not just for football. We talking about all the sports gonna suffer.
Wow.
But he had to be the one to say something for something to happen. And this was the second time within a year. You know what I'm saying? So people wanted to go like on him. Oh, he putting the school in a bad light. No. No. Because he saw his team about to be affected yet again. Because we had to opt out in the spring.
Yes.
Year, you know, because we didn't have no trainers. The kids wasn't able to practice, and you thought that he was gonna put them out there, put them in harm's way.
He's supposed to do that. You can't do that. You got
like, ain't no way I'm gonna do that.
Right.
So did Prime send trainers down there? Was because a lot of people
did not.
Okay, see people. That's why I wanted to ask you this question. Go ahead.
Let me go on the record,
please,
and tell you how that all went down. Okay. So when everything comes out about the trainer situation, you know, it's back in the news and this and this and this. Mac had coaches from everywhere calling him. You know, what can I do? You know, man, can we send, you know, some of our people? Like, how can we help? What do we need to do? He had calls from coaches in the conference and outside of the conference. Okay, so when we got the temporary fix, you know, we got some people contracted, they gonna come in. Okay, all is well. You get on the coach's call that following week or next few days or whatever. You know, of course, that's the first thing everybody want to know. Is the situation handled? Because, you know, the thing is, he had to tell them coaches, it's not about that we can't find the people. They won't hire them.
Right.
So when these coaches realize, okay, this is an administration thing they got going on.
We can't do nothing.
Hands off. You know, ain't nothing we can do about that. Okay. So they still want to know, you know, is everything good? He let everybody know on the call that Deion is a part of it. You know, we got it all worked out. I appreciate everybody, you know, for reaching out, want to help, you know. Okay, we done moved on with the call. So it was either the same day, following day, you know, he gets a call or whatever. Deion wants to talk to him. He was like, you know, about what? About the trainer situation, whatever. And his thing was, you know, well, hey, I didn't address that on the call. You know, we moving on. You know, that's just who he is. Like, he ain't about to sit there and just keep festering and stuff.
Right.
And also knowing that Deion has a camera 24/7.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody know this. This ain't no secret.
No secret.
The thing was, like, it really ain't nothing to talk about. You know, I don't even want to talk about that anymore. So because he couldn't get him to continue to talk about it, then you go out with I tried to help them. I could have got them trainers from here, this and this. If you don't think if it was in Coach Mac's power, he could have made those same calls that Deion could have made.
Right.
Get us some trainers, but it was not within his power to do.
So.
I don't know why Deion felt like he could be the one to overstep our administration and make it happen. And so it's like, no, you didn't offer to, like, even if you did offer, you came from a angle of, well, I tried to rescue them. They weren't rescued. When you had tons of other coaches who
that was trying to do the same thing,
offered the same, but did not feel the need to go out there and make it known that we called and offered, you know. And when you really know what the issue was, like, come on, man, like, don't do that.
That's the gift and curse of overexposure. You know what I'm saying?
Like, don't do that though. Like, you know, then you make it seem like, see, I want to help, they don't want my help. Like, don't do that.
Well, I watched the interview. It didn't come across like that. He was like, hey, man, I watched the interview on TV today. It didn't even come across like that. He's like, because he said when he went down to Alcorn, it's not that, not Alcorn Valley, when he went to Valley, he said, man, even this is again another moment where I'm trying to figure out
that trip that he say he just popped up. That he
but this is what I'm trying to figure out. This is where, because you know me, I often say this. I was only a PE teacher. I graduated in physical education. So my smart people be losing me sometimes. I be like, but I'm trying to figure out, when has it ever been, especially when the market is low, not to bring in something or someone. And that's when I said that HBCUs hadn't been marked, knowing how, yes, we have been that. Yes, the culture has always been that. Mm-hmm. Yes, all the bravado, when we come here, the fanfare, even though I don't like what Shannon Sharp said, but look at, he came and was ingratiated into the culture. Hold on. Let me walk you. Let me put the chair out for you. What I'm trying to say is, he had Power 5 offers. He did not have the grades, but once he got into the culture, yes, you are right. We have always been that. But have we always marketed that culture to the best and the success where it's a favorable outcome for us? No, we hadn't.
We haven't. I would be the first to say that our administrations have dropped the ball on that.
Now, how is this? Why is it wrong for this man? Why do we have a nature about us to throw stones at this man for saying, turn your camera on? We are in an age that we do not have to wait on, because we remember, I was at Jackson State when they had the Ayers case, asking for, that's why I say, I don't know, we won't go there. Equal funding. It's just not on the college level, the collegiate level. If we look at Mississippi, it's
the state itself.
The Mississippi Delta, if you look at the Mississippi Delta and look at education, I'm talking about grade, secondary education, the whole nine, elementary, the resources that are sent that way. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know that an economic base will is the driving energy force for your school system. The resources that your schools have. If you look at the Mississippi Delta, it has all been depleted of all economic base. And there is no attempt to correct the infrastructure. Now they're saying they're teetering now after years. I am 48. I grew up there. This is 2022, and we still have a 90-mile section of a major thoroughfare that, if long ago you make it 4 lanes, you make it more attractive for industry to come back in. Because back in the day, in those 90s, when we had the mass exodus of industry south of the border for cheaper labor. See what I'm saying? But when they came back, they didn't come back, and I'm talking Mississippi. And nobody's addressing that. So if you look at schools like the HBCU, I see HBCU education and their attempt to push funds that way.
I ain't
gonna say that because hey, look, but yes, I am. Our good governors had an issue with the city council and everybody said voting to say, you know what, we are gonna approve a stadium. The conversation wasn't even, he was asked a question about funds being misappropriated at another school by other people, I would say. All right. But he hit, and I don't know how in his logic decided to say, well, I don't believe that the city of Jackson should approve a stadium for Jackson State.
Yeah, I don't know why Jackson State came into that question, because it wasn't about Jackson State. I know exactly what you're talking about too.
So and that's what I was saying. You were absolutely right about we will never get the resources because we already see the playing field is
right. But that's the part right there that it's nothing wrong with somebody coming in and they see something and it's like, I really want to make a change. Like, I really want to see things done better. I really want to see improvement. It's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But this is the part that I wish that he has spent more on, is sitting down and really digging deep and finding out how deep this stuff really goes.
Right.
Because it's not just on the surface. You can't just come in and say, oh, they could do this and we need to. Man, listen, it's a whole lot deeper than that. That's just like, I mean, like you brought up, his trip to Valley. Well, you go to Valley with cameras. You put them people on Front Street. Now, I ain't saying, I ain't saying.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. Tell the truth. Come with her.
No, but listen, like I said, there are some things that I have to still,
Right.
I ain't saying it was right or wrong, but here we go though.
No.
It's like, I feel like on one hand, people needed to see that.
Yeah.
I think some Valley alums needed to see that.
Yeah.
Like this is what's really happening over here or not happening.
That part.
But on the flip side of that, you can't make these grandstanding promises and stuff. We gonna do this and we gonna do that. Cause Deion, you ain't on their administration. You cannot go over there and just tell them people that this is what I'm gonna do. And this, like, you can't do that. I think, you know what I'm saying? And
resources. The donors, like Phil Mickelson sent Jackson State $5 million. Michael Straight, that's who he was talking to. His resources. He's like, look,
right. Man. But even with his resources, though, there's a process of how to do things.
Right.
Now, this was a private institution.
Yeah.
He probably didn't have as much red tape or whatever. But we talking about, when you talk about state-funded
school,
I could tell Alcorn right now that I want to give them $10 million to build this building. And it's not as easy as me giving them a check and they're going to start breaking ground tomorrow. It's not that easy.
Do what? You have to do all you have now. Only thing is, when I see that I want to do, so it's red tape I got to get through. Now I got to dot my I's, cross my T's. I got to pay attention to detail, and I got to find out to make sure this money gets to where it's needed.
And that is correct. But even if there was something that I wanted to do, just say me as an individual,
right?
Then I need to get to the table with whoever's over development or the university foundation or the president. I need to get to the table with them, or let me go to my AD, let me go to my president,
right.
Like, because you sit at this table with these people weekly, monthly, however they meet, you know what I'm saying? These are things I need you to be speaking up on for us or for them, you know what I'm saying? But it was like I said, it's a way to do anything. It was the approach.
I'm one of these people like this. I just, somebody was in their feelings. He said, and that statement he made about.
I mean, that's no doubt. That's no doubt. I mean, I'm not denying it at all. I'm not denying it at all, because
they ain't gonna take my disability check because I mean, look, I ain't gonna take my disability. Now you in the professional realm, you work. Somebody was in their feelings, cuz I'm gonna just say opinion. This opinion based now. This opinion based, but somebody was in their feelings. That's all that was.
And I know that, and I'm agreeing with you, because I know that there are things that we, some of myself, or like there are alums that I know who tried to do things, for their respective schools, and they
get shot down.
They get shot down because you're not the person who's in the elite circle, or you're not the person that they like. So no, we're not gonna, we're not gonna receive this idea from you and work with you on getting it done. But some months down the line, you might see your idea again. You know what I'm saying? With somebody else taking credit for it.
Absolutely.
So you do have to be
they would get
better at working together. And I will tell anybody that HBCUs, we're underfunded. We have our issues externally.
Right.
But I will be the first to say that a lot of our issues are internal.
Self-inflicted.
They are internal. They are, because I've seen it. I have seen it firsthand.
Right.
That people won't even allow you to do your job because you actually about the business of doing your job.
Speak on it.
Because you doing your job exposes what they not doing. And they gonna do whatever they can to get you out of there.
Right.
Been there.
Not call. You see that? I just need
a book about it.
You just gotta walk her to the altar. What's the child for? No, I know it. You speaking the truth.
So my thing is always gonna be, I am HBCU's biggest supporters, but I'm also be their biggest critic.
Because you are a supporter, so you can't criticize.
I'm gonna call it out. Yep. I'm not one of those people that looking through the rose-colored glasses with everything. Well, just because it's my school, I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna say no. Everybody got it's enough blame to go around.
Right.
Everybody got some sugar honey iced tea that they need to get together.
Let's hold on, Roger. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just want to kind of keep the train moving. We only got a few more topics I want to hit on, and I want to kind of get back on topic as it pertains to Prime in this aspect. When you look at what he did while he was at Jackson State and the way he left, do you guys think the ridicule was fair from the people that was upset? And do you think that it was the right choice and the right time to make the call right after the SWAC game, knowing you had the Celebration Bowl in 2 weeks? And now, we're on the other side of the Celebration Bowl, and you lose the Celebration Bowl 2 years in a row now. Do you think that the ridicule was fair, and do you think that the timing was good, or he should have waited till after? Because I know why he did it. He was trying to get those recruits and secure those recruits for Colorado. But do you think that it was smart to do what he did? I'll go to Roger first, and then Keisha.
I'm trying to with Tiger Blue. Hell, no. But if I'm thinking with a business frame of mind, if I'm taking my emotions out of it,
right?
The Power 5 school says, look, we need an answer. We have kids that's going to be hitting the portal. We want to get a jump start on this. The reason why we're coming after you is not because we see that you are this genius.
Tactician, X's and O's, right?
We see your genius is in what? Marketing.
Recruiting, right. Yeah.
That's somebody, you said this earlier, because you have going somewhere outside of your house having somebody giving you praise that you had. You said that earlier, didn't you? Sure did. I be hearing it. I be talking it.
I would say it over and over again.
But you're right. And that's what I think. That's what I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, when he left, he had to, I didn't like it. I was like, man, I wanted him to stay because it's the fanfare. He
right.
That Joseph energy. But then here's the thing about it. That Joseph energy he bought here. I didn't want to see him go, but business, if you look at his early interviews, I see those interviews, and I remember that he said, I've been coaching my boys since they were little, and I've been following them. And he said, now I got to a point, I wanted to continue on up there, but nobody would give him. He went toward Florida State first.
They said no.
He himself around. But those schools weren't there. They weren't going to give him a look. He said, but I want to thank Jackson State for giving me my first opportunity. If we, the smart people that we are really listening, when he says, I want to thank Jackson State for giving me my first opportunity. So in that statement, he said what? I'm moving on. I'm moving on. But we wanted to what? He sold up. Okay, I'm confident in myself. I'm gonna come in here and make a change. That's what he's saying, because if you look at every level he in his playing career and as high school coach, he always says, I am the what? Best. And I am gonna do this, this, and this. All right. But did he see being 13 or 12-0, 12-1 in his sack just with third season or second full season? No. But he thought that. Now that might have been down the line. 2 back-to-back SWAC championships. All right. Now you have a kid in Houston that didn't get drafted, but he got the free agent round. Now this kid is 4 games, 5 sacks.
No, Houston got drafted. He got drafted.
He got drafted what round?
Yeah, I think he got drafted in the 6th round.
6th round. That's it. That's free agent round. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had hey, you on the practice squad, cuz. But you know what I'm saying? He had NFL scouts and players. Well, he ain't doing all this for the, that's what some of those people are saying now. But see, here's the thing about it. Iron sharpens iron. not only were the players, I don't know if anybody else paid attention. Yes, 44 from Alcorn had been playing like this. But you know what? Do you not think as a competitor, when 44 got the opportunity, now I'm going up against Jackson State, who they claiming this, that, and other, and that's my brother. That's our cousin. We've been battling this and everything. I don't care who they got over there. We finna go at it. That receiver they got at Alcorn. Players got that and now all of these resources, these people that he knows in the NFL. Hell, Roger Goodell, I never knew. I got to bow my head. That Roger Goodell's nephew.
I don't think anybody knew that until
they kept that quiet.
They kept that a secret.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Now you think about when you even put that into the context of things, how many more John Lynch coming to practice? Terrell Owens, your kids are getting an opportunity to practice with Hall of Fame greats. Not saying that, it came with the fanfare.
Right.
But as he said, and I keep going back to this, and this might, I ain't gonna lie, he stepped on some people's toes when he said, do not let my confidence offend your insecurities. And he was a bigger presence than the HBCU. And you said alumni who had money. I'm a student, and I've gotten to this position, and I'm a doctor, and I'm a Fortune 500 leader, and I'm trying to give back, and they wouldn't let me. I keep going away, but he comes along and he gives. But who you going? So at the detriment of who do you not want him to, and do you not want this to be successful? At the detriment of who? Right. The most important resource is who? The children that are.
But here's how I look at it on the flip side. Because I said, I see it from both sides. I see it from the fan perspective, and I see it from, administration perspective. So as far as him leaving, I mean, coaches do it all the time. It's the nature of the business.
To be,
you know what I'm saying? You rarely find coaches who get to a school and stay forever anymore.
Eddie Robinson, and Bobby Bowden are done. It's not happening.
That's gone now.
Right. It's not
happening. So him leaving or making the decision to leave, I was not surprised by it.
Right.
It's like, it is what it is. He a coach. I mean, he really.
But did y'all think he would at least stay for 2 more years until Shedeur graduated? Because I know the Jackson State fans wanted Shedeur to get graduated with the J hat. You know what I'm saying? To I
always felt like when a serious offer came from a Power 5, he was out of there.
He said that too. He said that.
And he said it. Yep. He had been saying it.
Yeah. Right.
So him leaving, no surprise, like it was expected, whatever. Yep. Now, the timing of everything.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
Do I think that this could have been kept under wraps for 2 weeks? Absolutely not.
Because it wasn't really, it came out before he made the announcement.
It came out way before he made the announcement. Like way before. Yeah. So I don't think it could have been held for that long. Right. Now, this is the problem that I have. Mm-hmm. Even if he was going to go ahead and accept the job and do all of that, he still took that moment from those kids.
Absolutely.
Took their championship moment from them.
He got out coached.
Because
No, she's talking about the SWAC championship. She's talking about the SWAC championship.
Celebration bowl. I'm talking about the championship game. Yeah. He took that moment from them. Because even if this other school is saying, okay, well, you need to be here by whenever. Okay, if they really want you, then him being who he is, listen, I got a game to play. I am going to be with my team. Win or lose, I'm going to be here with my team tonight.
Right.
I'll get on this plane in the morning.
Right.
And come, I mean, you got a private jet. It ain't like you catching a commercial flight and you got a certain time you got to be at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
They put you on a private jet, bringing you to Boulder.
You right.
Like that should have been the one stipulation.
Right.
I'm not coming until I have spent time with my team.
He
took that moment from them. He rushed everything. Of course, I wasn't at the game, but video don't lie. And everybody gonna record everything now. Mm-hmm. But he rushed everything. He rushed the presentation. Like he was physically there, but he was not present with his team. You would have thought that they lost the game.
Yeah, for sure.
It did not have a winning, it did not have a, because it's like those kids already knew what was happening. They already knew what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing he said, something about the rumors or whatever, like, they have been seeing that stuff.
Right.
So you whisk them off in his room to meet with them because they can't celebrate the way that they want to and how they need to, because you got to come and break their hearts basically and tell them that you've taken another job. It's like, it was just a whole, I hated that for that team.
Right.
I hated it because they did not get to really take that moment in. I mean, the guys who were there last year for it, they knew what that felt like. But what about the kids who had just got there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won the game, but they still didn't get that.
Correct.
They didn't get that feeling. They didn't get that championship feeling.
They didn't.
They didn't get those embraces from their coach that you would normally see a team. They didn't get all of the camaraderie that happens after a team wins a championship, because it was all focused on him trying to get them in so he could just officially tell them, because I know they already knew.
Right.
But it was just like he took that moment from them, and I didn't like that at all. Like,
no,
I did not like that. And then it was just the things that he said in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go there with it. Like, you basically telling them in so many words, like, don't be in a hurry to jump in the portal because pretty much all y'all ain't that good. Or you ain't, you think you this or whatever, but it ain't this, and it ain't as simple as you think it is. But you brought them there from, you brought some of them.
A lot of them came from the portal already.
Yeah.
But you gotta play the rest of that clip though. You gotta play the rest of that clip. You gotta, how they do the editing in the media.
I get it, but it's still, I think that could have gone. He could have gone without saying it.
Yeah,
I'm saying. But then what did he do in Colorado? What did he tell the kids at Colorado?
He told them the same thing.
And he came in there and told them to get in the portal.
He told them, I got Louis bags.
That's what I'm saying. He is, I don't mind. Just don't be no flippy floppy person.
What I'm saying is, I feel like, again, goes back to what I said in the beginning. It's a way you do anything.
Yeah.
And you talking about making a positive
impact, gotta have tact.
On young men.
You do.
When you're departing those young men, you still need to make sure that you depart from them, uplifting them, and not making them feel like they not good enough.
You are. I mean, you absolutely right.
And if I know he said a lot, but it was just like, you read between the lines. It's wordplay, and he just wasn't.
Cause he did say, because I don't like to see. I'm gonna tell the whole truth on you. He did say that, and it was like, hold up. But then he said, because we gonna sit down on the way out. He told kids, we're gonna sit down and talk to you and give you the best advice and whether or not you need.
Now, you know what? I would have rather he just said that.
He should have started with that. He should have started with that.
He should have never went on the don't be so quick. No. What I'm saying is,
now you see that? That's the administrative. Just because I don't weave this.
But like you said though, Roger, you said he was like, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about the best plan for you moving forward. Now that is what the whole part of don't be so quick to jump in that portal if he had said don't be so quick to jump in the portal because we're gonna sit down and
have a discussion with everybody individually.
But all that extra stuff that he said,
that's that prime stuff.
It had a negative.
Absolutely.
Who did you hire?
You hired Prime.
Right.
He said he got there. Don't call me Deion, call me who? Coach
Prime.
But if we're going to talk about uplifting young men and being positive, leave that extra stuff out of there.
And Roger, I gotta agree with Cuz in this regard. Sometimes Prime don't know when to turn it off and when to turn it on. And like I said, I was never mad that he left. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the people that actually was defending him. Like, it's his right.
Everybody thinking, how y'all mad at that man for leaving and taking millions of dollars? Like, I'm not mad at that man for leaving. Like, really, I didn't care one way or the other if he left or stayed or left. I didn't care.
Right. But see, hey, Keisha, you gonna find out what D already know. I understand that y'all don't see it that way, but now D is always one that he says in the United States West now we've got so coddled that you can't say, look, son, don't do that. Don't.
No,
We done got so caught
Yeah.
to a point that you can't tell somebody the truth. Hey, son, look. Now, I know me doing this, a lot of y'all in your feelings, but young men, don't think with your emotions.
That's
We're going to
real.
do this business frame of mind because somebody who I'm very astute and with that is, we just don't carry ourselves like that and bring anything.
But Roger, let me say this though, Roger. Let me say this. I agree with you because I always make fun of my kids in my rec center. I say y'all generation is softer than our generation. But I think it's a way that we have to do certain things, and not everything is. You got to remember it. Prime is on camera all the time. So sometimes those conversations don't need to be had for the world to see.
Exactly.
He could have said that. He could have said that same stuff in a closed setting with the camera off, and I think those kids would have been more receptive. Because guess what? Here we are a few days after the Celebration Bowl, and Jackson State has over 30 kids in the portal.
Gone.
Those kids are gone.
But that goes to the point of what he said. Now, where is it to think? Now, he been back there practicing for the Celebration Bowl. They went out there. You've been with these kids. So what is that? And you got the assistant coaches there that you put together, your base. You didn't sit down and talk to each, but you had position coaches that came to you and said, so-and-so is ready, so-and-so is this, so-and-so is this. And then you sit down with those position coaches and you say, well, look, hey, coach, so-and-so and so-and-so might need to get in portal, but, might need to keep this back. You know what I'm saying? Or just advise him that you get in the portal.
And here's the thing, though.
It might not go the way that you think it is.
That's not saying that everybody in the portal is going with him.
Right.
That's totally understood. Travis Hunter said, I'm not saying that.
His recruiting is open. Yeah, Travis said his recruiting is open.
I'm keeping my options open. He said, everybody wants me to go with Coach Prime, but I'm keeping see, that's where the adults, the smart people in the room always get wrapped around the axle. I made a video prior to our homecoming, November the 4th, before you kept on seeing the little sparks of fire. Auburn is looking at him. FIU is looking. I did a video, and I can tell you one thing about you, that's a receipt. I said people as far as especially Jackson State, I'm as a fan, my opinion based, but also in the SWAC. I said this on November the 4th. Do not get wrapped around the axle about if he does decide to leave. While he's here, if we are the people, the smart people, we on a second. This is collegiate education. Why are we not saying let's absorb the mindset? To think, just like you said, that we always were great or good enough. We always were good enough. But guess what? Just like we were good enough, but we never did open our mouth. A closed mouth will never get what? There's plenty of times when coaches, I can tell you right now, this is personal right here. I saw this with my own eyes, and now I can reflect back on it. Older brother Reggie, y'all know, when he got ready to graduate from Rolling Fork High, honest to God, I saw old Mrs. Coach and his wife come to the house, sat at the table. And his wife was like, and yes, Miss Georgia, and I decorated the whole the athletic dorm. Mississippi State, they came to the house, and they flew a charter jet to Greenville to fly him to Starkville. I said, man, where you going? The new You see USM's Curly Hallman come to the house. You see all of these coaches. Now Alcorn. Now I tell the truth and shame them. The big boy that was at Alcorn, he used to coach there. What was his name? This was around the 80s. Big boy that was there, successful too. Used to go, but he came, he sat in the front room, his speech, and I was sitting in the other room, kitchen, ear hustling. He said, and he kind of like he was crying, he's like, our good talent is skipping over now and going to, and not looking at us. He did.
At home.
Guess who didn't ever come and give him a visit?
Jackson State.
Wow. Guess who didn't? I mean, that didn't say I wasn't going to go to Jackson State because I think I got blue blood in my veins. But you see what I'm saying? Closed mouth. And he wanted to go to now that's older brother, that's big brother. I know he wants to go to Jackson State. He wouldn't mind, because guess who's already there and already set themselves up in the culture? His big cousin Rhea ended up being Miss Jackson State University. You know what I'm saying? His big cousin Michelle. You know, it's there, but damn.
And that was your dad's alma mater. You know what I'm saying?
What? And mom's. And my grandmama.
Right.
Oh, my mama's mama. You see what I'm saying? He wanted to go, but you don't even get to sit down at the table. How did it make you so? You don't even say you done seen everybody else in the stage. You don't even, and the one I want to kind of go to.
They ain't holler at me.
Ain't even holler at me.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
I think somebody
I'm gonna tell you something else that coaches from, I know, you know, the black schools in Mississippi, and like I said, I can speak on Mississippi. They run into going to schools like Brandon, you know, like Clinton, Pearl, you know, yeah, they ain't letting our coaches in there.
Yeah,
right. They ain't letting them in there.
Wow.
Right.
They don't want our coaches talking to those guys.
Shannon Sharp said the same.
These coaches, they went to Ole Miss or State or wherever, and they would rather send those guys to a. So just say if you got a coach, a high school coach who went to Ole Miss, and got a kid on his team that could definitely play Division I, but Ole Miss don't have no room for him right now. Right. You know, without him sitting on the bench. Okay, well, I'm gonna send him to a JUCO at least 1 year.
Yeah.
Until coach got room for him to come and play, then he go there. They'd rather do that than to allow the Alcorn Valley to come in and talk to them to convince them to come to them. Wow. It happens. It happens.
Wow. And you know who the biggest driving force behind that is, Cub? The biggest driving force behind that mentality is us. As our kids. And you said it. That's why I say, Cub, I agree. I agree with everything. It just
because I know with mine. He didn't play. He wasn't no athlete. But I told him where he wasn't going to school.
Right.
I told him one place he was not going.
Ole Miss.
He wasn't going to Ole Miss. I mean, he went to this like summer thing that they have up there or whatever, where they try to match the kids with a mentor. I was like, if you say you going, that's fine, but you're not going to Ole Miss, so why you up there wasting them people time?
Right.
Yeah,
they don't need to be matching you up with nobody because you ain't going up there.
That part.
And then it was like he was kind of fixed on Mississippi State. Now, I thought this was going to be a hard thing for me to do, but what he wanted to major in, and I had to break it down to him, you know, like when you look at the cost of tuition, you know, Alcorn got that same program.
Yeah.
We want to know the truth about it. Mississippi State got theirs from Alcorn, you know. Let's just be real about it.
Yeah.
They just got it, pour more money into it.
Put a little bit more sauce on it.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm like, if you got a $1,500 balance left over, I can manage that, as opposed to you might have a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 balance left over in state. Where we gonna get that money from?
Right.
And I'm like, I think you need to go where you're gonna have a more tailored experience.
Yeah.
Where it's gonna be more personable.
The culture.
Now, graduate school, go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
And I thought he was just gonna be hell bent on I'm going to Mississippi State. It wasn't a hard sell.
Right.
But I knew one place he was not going, and I was standing on that. And he went there, he was just gonna be strictly on his own. You not
right.
We ain't going.
And you know,
wherever people choose to let their kids go, that's them.
Yeah,
that's
I'm with you on that.
But I did not feel in my heart that it was safe for me to let my black son go to that school, because I know the stuff that happened back then, it's still happening now.
I left part of my story out about Reggie had freedom to go everywhere in the state of Mississippi except for one school. I ain't gonna say which one, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get ready and land this plane. Man, it's been a great, enriching conversation. I love the fact that it just wasn't focused on Prime. We got into some other topics and some things I think that people
but see
need to hear about.
That's a clear indication that this is so much bigger.
It's bigger than him.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Bigger than him.
Really
For sure.
And
it really
again, I wish he had taken a different approach to learn more about the culture and really like, instead of kind of getting a crash course.
Right. He read the Cliff Notes.
Like really talk to the people who've been there and who have done the work, who have really like been down and been grinding it out. You know what I'm saying? Like really get to the meat of it.
Right.
And not, I mean, again, it's nothing wrong with thinking bigger. It's nothing wrong with seeing the potential of what can happen. But, that's why we gatekeep. You know what I'm saying? Because people like they like what they see and they think they can just come take pieces of it.
Right.
And just create something. But no, like, come on now, like respect what it is.
Right.
But it's way bigger than that, and I hope now that, because I don't like how especially like other celebrities, they use us as a fad, as a trend or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're gonna really rock with us, rock with us.
Yep.
Because it's too many people. It's too many celebrities and all of that who went to Howard, Morehouse, you know what I'm saying? So y'all know about us, like rock with us for real. Don't wait until it's a celebrity on the scene.
Right.
Now everybody want to come in, everybody got an opinion about us, everybody want to write an article, and you ain't even talking to the people who can really give you the facts.
Right.
You just kind of out there winging it because for clicks or whatever.
Right.
I mean, so like, yeah, that was. Because like you said, it's a good and bad to all of it. But at the end of the day, what he did at Jackson State, it'll never be forgotten. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just hope, and I'm looking at the list, I hope that they continue to show up for TC.
That's what I was gonna say. Now, I before you gave me the straight alley-oop. The one thing he said in that meeting that I agree with, and I was hoping that the administration wasn't going to be vindictive and not take his advice, or I'm assuming Ashley's advice as well. And that's when he advocated for TC to get the job.
Right.
I love that. Now TC has the job. He's the head coach now. He's the man in charge. What does Jackson State look like under TC, and how good or bad do you think he'll do? I think he'll do a great job, but you guys have more SWAC hours, and I'm not SWAC, so I respect your opinion more on this subject. But how well do you think TC will do, and do you think he was the right man for the job?
I mean, I think great.
Go ahead, Roger, and then I'll let Keisha close it.
Okay.
I think he'll be great. I think he won a couple MEAC championships as
he did
off top. I remember him being at Jackson State. I mean, it's no pun intended now. He never lost to Alcorn, our biggest rival. You see what I'm saying? I think he's in the record books, He's competitive. Here's the thing about it. TC really could have been handed the keys then, before Prime got here. Okay?
He was supposed to.
But here's the thing. He would have been handed the keys. His personality. That's why I say but I look at things from a different lens. Two different personalities.
Right.
If you look at TC giving his speech when he first got the finger pointed at him, that's two different personalities. That's not to say he's not going to do a great job. He's going to do an amazing job, because one thing, he has emotional tie to the job that he's already doing.
Right.
Those same I's that need to be dotted, he's going to dot them. Those same T's, he's going to do that. And the kids are going to know. One thing I always say, but this is smaller kids, but you can't lie to the children. They're going to tell you, they can see through fakeness all day and every day. They know TC is into what's going on here. He's bred Jackson State type. And he also got a chance to witness a marketing scheme at play. Whether we like it or not, the man came in here and marketed himself, put himself on the camera a whole lot, and got the attention of somebody at Power 5 schools, and that had never been done. A transition from a HBCU, head coach head coach, we know assistant, no assistants, but a head coach on the HBCU level to a Power 5 school. That worked out in favor. And I'm not going to go on a whole lot of conspiracy theories, but in this southeastern corridor of sports, a lot of people love the fact that hey, you know what? We but at least way out there,
get him out of here.
You out there in Colorado where it's cold, at least we need you out of it, especially there, because now you're dispelling the narrative that the coaches are subpar. Now and reason why you're gonna be like, how is Prime dispelling the narrative? Okay, the media is building Prime up to be all of this, but Alcorn's Fred McNair went head to head with him, toe to toe. I tell you what, not one Jackson State fan in the stadium ever felt comfortable because, we got Prime. We playing Alcorn.
You got to play for 60 minutes.
Man, no kid playing. We beat the brakes off of Southern Baton Rouge the first time. But now you'll see that all of the time he's there, as much time, no matter if it was a short time, he's dispelling the narrative. Now, adjustments were made by Southern Baton Rouge's coach. Because you see the difference between game one. You was at game one, cuz.
I was there, yeah.
Yeah. And then the score for game one and game two. They competed game two.
Dooley got in his own way. He should have started Bubba. If Bubba would have started, what happened in the Celebration Bowl might have happened in the SWAC championship game. That's just a fact. Absolutely.
The narrative saying that, no, this SWAC is just depleted of talent and whatever.
That's not true.
That's not true. Because now probably have nothing to do with 44 being at
right.
I'm telling you, that child that came out to play ball.
He became my favorite player this season.
Woo!
That boy was out there. I mean, he was working.
And his energy was felt all the way down there.
Absolutely.
Shador didn't have time to get comfortable all that day. The kids that was out there on the wing, that now you matched up. Only thing you seeing is ESPN, Travis Hunter. But now the first time we played Southern, we beat them like a drum. But the second time, matter of fact, I caught a clip of him. I really started.
He got mossed.
Hoping I could catch him, pick one and go 6. But this one happened to be one. Well, a kid came down, gave him a move, went up and caught it at his highest peak. I was like, man. But see, what it did, it wasn't saying that Travis Hunter is not a beast. He is that kid a goon. He's made for TV. He's as advertised. But other kids, the kids in other schools were like, hold on.
We can play with these dudes.
Right. And that shines a light. And Prime being on the sideline, that's all I've ever been saying. It's not that he did also HBCUs. I wasn't saying that he did. It's just that when if this cat here and just got a deal and he got signed for, and he want to come over here, well, stand beside me, cause you can stand beside me. They over there talking about, he just gonna date, cause I will stand beside you, and then I want to soak up some of your knowledge. See, that's the thing about it. I've always been a humble nature as far as if I feel like when I talk to you, I'm like, hey, you know what? I believe, yeah, you're right. You're right. I see that. Or you can put me on game and lead me to some water where I didn't know, and I'm about to die of thirst.
Right.
You feel me? They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't do what?
Make it drink.
That's the mindset. We were so combative about the notion of, he's just doing this for himself. Well, first rule of nature is what?
Self-preservation.
So, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yes, this is my first opportunity. This is opening the door. Yes, I'm letting everybody, and I'm wanting to move on. I'm study saying, I would be a fool not to, sit down with people. And when the right thing come along, I told you I wanted to be on major college football level. And I think he wanted to be the Dallas Cowboys coach, but we be reaching. You know what I'm saying? But Jerry Jones,
he claims he don't want to ever coach professional. He has said that, but hey, that could change. But Keisha, I'm gonna let you land the plane. TC Taylor, you think he's the right man for the job, and how well do you think he'll do as the head coach?
I can't say that I know TC personally, but just based on what I have seen, you know, and the things I have heard about him, I think he's well deserving of the opportunity.
He
Absolutely.
is.
You know, like I said, it's just the way, you know, it wasn't his time, but you know, the carrot had been dangled in his face before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the job was going to be his, and then you swoop in with somebody else. So, what I do know is that TC had, you know, I know at least one opportunity. I'm not going to say he didn't have others to leave and go be a position coach somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm not going in. I won't say he said he wasn't going anywhere else, but I knew he wasn't interested in going anywhere else in the SWAC, you know, as anything other than a head coach.
Right. That makes sense.
You know, he
I thought he was gonna get that Prairie View job last year when Dooley went to Southern.
Right. And I think it was rumored that he did interview for it. Now I don't know that, you know, I never got that confirmation. I
heard Prime got upset, which is why he was demoted from calling plays in the Celebration Bowl last year.
That's what.
Yeah. No, he paid it.
And we see what happened.
And you see what happened.
I paid it. That's petty.
Right.
The game he took over as offensive coordinator, they beat the brakes off of Alabama A&M, but then all of a sudden he's not the offensive coordinator in the Celebration Bowl. Right. Like that's just very weird to me. But you know, that's neither here nor there.
But you know, I respect, you know, like his loyalty.
Yes, absolutely.
That right there says a lot, and I'm all about loyalty. You know,
yes.
Somebody that I know that they loyal to doing what they doing, I'm 10 toes down behind them. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of mirrors, you know, I always got to go back to my school. It kind of mirrors what happened with Coach Mack.
I said the same thing.
You know, he was turned down 2 or 3 times. But when Coach Hobson got the job, the first person he called was Fred McNair. Wow. And this is what came out of his mouth, because he said he knew that there was no way he could come to that school and be successful without having that man beside him. Wow. So when people want to go on this, Fred was winning with Hobson's players and all this, who you think was recruiting them?
Right.
Who you think was recruiting them? The same thing happened at Jackson State and Alcorn on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, so TC, you know, like
they looked over TC.
TC, exactly. They've been looking over TC. Yep, he's been waiting on, you know, waiting his turn, and now he got it. So again, it's like a mirror situation, because I know how much Fred loves Alcorn. Wow. I know how loyal he is to that program and to those young men that he, you know, that he's bringing in. And they always say, you know, your team gonna take on the personality of the coach.
The coach, that's right.
I have seen it with my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like I see it might take TC, you know, a little bit. It might not be instant, but I see that I believe he will be somebody who will actually like build. You know what I'm saying? Not put those instant pieces in place, but really like build and develop, you know, those kids that he bring on. So, I mean, I don't know what next season is going to look like for Jackson State. I mean, heck, we don't know what next season is going to look like for anybody. Yeah. But, you know, considering, you know, like all the kids who have jumped in the portal, you know, so he really got to be
he got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, he got his work cut out for him. Yeah. But you know, I mean, rivalry or not, like I'm really rooting for him, like for him.
Yes,
like,
absolutely. I think we all are.
I want him to do well. You know, I really do, because again, like I know his wife, because we were all going together.
Yeah, I remember his wife. Yeah, his wife.
And I know like a lot of people who know them. I know a lot of people from Macomb. So you know, but everybody has always said like good, you know, good things about him. He just seems like a good, wholesome guy. And yeah, I want to see him do good.
Right. Well, one thing I will say,
even this time around, they were saying like he still wasn't the person. You know, I've heard that. Like
that's
he got the alley-oop.
He got the alley-oop. Yeah. I will say this though, with TC, you know, Jackson State alum, he coached in the MEAC at NCCU. We just had the 8th Celebration Bowl, and the SWAC is down 7-1. So maybe TC can take some of that mojo from the MAC and bring to Jackson State, because Grambling is the only team in the SWAC that can say they won the Celebration Bowl. So hopefully he can change that, and he does well. I like TC a lot. I love his demeanor. You can tell he loves Jackson State with all of his heart, and he's very loyal, like Cuz just said. And we all wish him well.
Jackson State does right by him.
Exactly.
But if he does get an offer from a Power 5, if somebody from Jackson State, I'm gonna be like dude on Soldier Store. I can't stand you.
No, I mean, because I think I'm gonna just say this. I think the whole thing about Deion leaving when he did is because of all that he came in with. He came in on a crusade, I'm here
right, exactly.
All HBCUs. I'm here to do that.
That was that used car salesman spiel.
Right. Hey, do you notice? Do you notice every time I say that bar keep moving? What Prime? What he did? See, that's what I'm saying. We keep trying to create problems with when all the time we want. I take that glasses and look within and say, you know what?
No, I mean it's not trying to.
She's right though, Roger. If Prime would have just came in like any other coach and said, "Hey, I want to turn the program around. I want to win a SWAC championship."
As you go along, okay.
But Prime.
We work on do this.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
He came in on this crusade.
That crusade is the part. She's right. Go ahead. What's your question? Go ahead.
Did we hire a traditional coach?
No, you didn't.
Did we hire an X's and O's expert?
No.
Or did we hire a marketing genius?
You're right.
Hold on. That's what I'm saying. You can paint an elephant pink all you want to up under that sky. He's rough and gray.
You're right. It was like
and somebody gonna see this, they gonna like this. Do you all know that they've been painting us to say, tell your boys that you are, don't do that. Don't say you good. Don't pop your collar. Don't. Prime came out then and told them, I will not go play football because I am that man. I'm going to baseball first, and when I decide, I come back and play football. I went to the lounge. When he went to the NFL, he was a hired gun. You just had a president. He said, and again, and it goes back to do not let my confidence offend your insecurity. Hold on, it's a poem that says, there is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. Our deepest fear. What are you more afraid of, your life or your darkness?
Nobody's saying that he shouldn't have confidence or whatever.
That's exactly what everybody's saying. I still
feel like he came in and he basically sold.
God told me to come. I want to even the playing field. I want HBCUs to get 5-star. I agree. Two things can be right. Two things can be right. Only way we got finessed if we sat there and didn't listen to what the man. God told me that. I heard what the man said. Y'all gave me my first opportunity. I want to be here. Right.
I'm only a PE teacher. I want to be here.
Yeah. And I think
like I said,
we got finesse. Only way we got finesse.
We gonna always say the right thing when the cameras are on.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's marketing. See, that's marketing right there.
But is that genuine?
You get what were your results?
I mean, you got two championships out of it, but now you got over 30
to the Celebration Bowl. You recruited the number one draft pick, never done before at HBCU.
Right.
Not only HBCU, not even at FCS. So yeah.
But you did it, but okay, he was here. It was like, okay, I did it just to say I could do it.
No,
right.
Well,
so this is what I'm afraid of. This is what I'm afraid of, and no disrespect at all to Jackson State, because again, the school I have much respect for.
Right.
But what part of what he did is sustainable?
mindset. Okay, then, well, let's go there. What? If
What's
we got time, let's go there.
We already got 30. We already got 30 kids in the portal.
You got 30
So
plus in
you
the
just
portal.
asked the question, what part of that is sustainable? If going along the line aligns, not only, it's not just Jackson State. See, this is the SWAC conference head man. If I know that I'm not over Alcorn, just over Alcorn, I'm not just over Southern, I'm not just over Grambling, I'm just not over Jackson State. I'm the SWAC head, I'm the president of the SWAC Southwestern Athletic Conference. Why am I not sitting down and talking and with this man? Don't you think Prime and who he is has a publicist team? You know that his exactly. Why are we not absorbing the mindset? Why am I not getting innovative ideas to push the HBCU after he's gone? See, we want
that part. I'm not. No, that's not. That's
we
not what I'm
sit
saying.
down and try to.
I'm not saying as a conference.
You said, how is this sustainable?
I'm talking about as an institution.
So, okay, that's the whole conference. So if I'm saying that for the conference, just like I take everything and look at it like the military. You have a platoon leader, you have a company commander, you have a battalion commander, you have a brigade commander. You see what I'm saying? You said as a conference, why not?
No, I said
no. She's talking about Jackson State. She's talking about Jackson State.
Hold
on, this is what she said, Roger. What has he done that is sustainable now that he's in Boulder, Colorado? Besides mindset, besides a mindset.
So hold on. This is what so you agree that the head of the Southwestern Athletic Conference could have been doing that to try to drive and promote the Southwestern Athletic Conference, right?
I'm not saying that he wasn't, but I mean,
hold on.
But I do know the things that he was already doing before Deion got there.
But hold on, but was the Southwestern before Deion, did it get this type of exposure? No. Okay.
Jackson State got this exposure.
No, I'm saying before.
And Jackson State is in the SWAC. But anytime you had stuff going on, it was Jackson State.
That's not the question. I said the question was, before Deion, was the South, only to last time I remember a school in the Southwestern Athletic Conference getting that type of exposure was Grambling. Because you look at one time, everybody on TV was wearing the what?
The G.
And then if you look,
Grambling has always branded and marketed their school well. I say that about Grambling, Southern, and Jackson State. Those are the three schools in the SWAC that have always had good branding, and they have marketed their schools and their athletics.
So let's rewind. Didn't I just say earlier that we went through a 5 to 10 year period of what? Kind of a low period, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we lost ourselves. So if the Southwestern Athletic Conference, if that was a feasible plan for the Southwestern Athletic Conference to be looking and pulling innovative ideas like Penn, instead of he just won't. I'm not.
But how can we say that those ideas are not on the table or those ideas haven't been implemented just because they weren't microwaved and it wasn't a joke the way that Deion did it? That's not saying that the conference is just steady on a down. I don't agree with it.
No, I'm not. What you see? I watched that movie Roll Bounce. I like it a lot. It's you know what I'm saying? Look,
I love your analogies, man. Hold on. Roll Bounce is one of the first movies I was like, Bow Wow is really a good actor. I like Roll Bounce, but go ahead.
So, look, all I'm trying to say is, if we weren't so he kind of like the way he come in. There's a such thing as A way and B way.
No, I can't
bring you to the altar.
A way and B way. Go ahead.
But just because somebody comes in, if Ashley Robinson, if I'm giving I take my hat off to him, that was thinking outside of the box. Who would have ever thought? I thought it was some Facebook jokes going around. Everybody did, but then I'm like, that was thinking outside of the box. He was not you cannot. Who in their right mind can sit here? What smart? Like I said, I'm just a PE teacher, but I guarantee you, you have one of the alumnus doctors sit down and tell me that they thought that was possible first.
No, I'm not saying that it wasn't possible. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. I'm not saying that Jackson State was
outside the box. It was the mindset. That's what I'm saying, cuz it was the mindset.
Roger. Can I say
that
something?
wrong bounce analogy was because you skating around the point of
right, I know.
Did not absorb. We are not wanting to hold ourselves accountable and say that I was a pessimist. I was this and not sit. I'm not talking about the fan base. I'm talking about the people in the front offices, the people in the administration at all of these HBCUs while he was here. You have PR people that you
say that everybody felt that way because I know they didn't.
But I'm saying you should have had people. Look at Coach. Look at Coach. I ain't gonna lie, Coach. That was some real. That was, to me, that was solid. One of his, I ain't gonna lie, toughest games always was Valley.
But he always gave props to Dancy and Willie Simmons. Them his two guys. He always gave them love.
Hey, Southern Baton Rouge again. Southern Baton Rouge's coach stepped up to the plate. You see what I'm saying? Alcorn's Coach Fred McNair has always been that man. You see what I'm saying? But what it is, dispel. We cut our nose out the spell. We don't understand that while he was here, it was helping to dispel the narrative that we weren't good enough anymore. It got to a point where our kids were not getting calls to come to the combines or even the draft. But you see what I'm saying? So if he's here and we're stepping up to the plate, and they see, okay, now Houston, he gets a chance where he wouldn't have got a chance. Look at his stats right now.
5 sacks in 4 games.
But the question that I asked was not even about, the draft or any of that.
She said, what has he done that can be sustained at Jackson State University? That's a fair question. Besides him leaving them with a mind state of being great.
The mindset of how to build from within. How to build from within. See, the first and foremost, he said, why can't I? We did not get a lot of those players. We didn't even get a thought from a lot of those players because we did not do what?
Recruit.
We didn't go sit down with him.
Well, he said that. FAMU didn't even recruit him when he went to Florida State. He said that. Yeah.
Well, he ain't gonna come to us because we ain't. Why can't you not sit down?
I get it. You only miss the shots you don't take.
That's real.
That part.
And I get that, but I promise we're on the same page with everything you're saying.
Right.
But you said how can we sustain that?
When I mean how can we sustain it, I don't mean that as to say TC won't be able to recruit the same kind of kids. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But I'm saying as like from a marketing standpoint, which Jackson State has always marketed themselves very well.
And got a different, they can add.
Like financially, like is this going to be sustained? Because it goes back to what I said. Mm-hmm. I hope the fans show up for TC the way that they did for Deion.
But you know what?
I hope that they do. And
I think they will.
I think they will.
There are some. Well, I believe that the True Blue will.
Right.
Because they've always let FCS in attendance, so the stadium will be packed.
The True Blue will show up. I don't doubt that. I'm saying as far as the city, doing, all they were all in. Like everybody was all in with Prime.
Right.
But were they all in with Jackson State? That's what I'm saying.
Well, let me ask you a question.
That's what I'm saying. And it's no dig at Prime, it's no dig at Jackson State. But like I said earlier, I don't like when the people just jump on the
Your question was, how is this sustainable?
All right, this is the last question, Roger. We 2 hours in. This is the last question. Go ahead.
Okay, what did Prime do? You said, how is this sustainable? Why? He got all his fans. What did he do when he got to Colorado? He set up, we keep getting, you say he always got a camera. He said that on that social media page for Colorado now, and he was pushing, he was running, he's marketing. He's saying, I need 10 more thousand, 15 more thousand to get to, because my goal is 250,000. That means and all I got 250,000 eyes on what I'm saying about where, you know what? And then now and I know TC had the opportunity to work. I'm not saying TC gonna do things just like here, but if I was in a think tank, I would sit down and be like, you know what? I need to hire me a PR guy. Yeah. A social media, not just a guy, the old school way of how we handle things in the SWAC. Because we saw, damn, that worked. That did work. Jackson State, I mean,
they IG was lit. Jackson State IG was lit.
Statistics say, what do families watch more, their phone or the TV?
Oh. I get it. I just.
So how is it?
So that, okay, I'll give you that, Roger. I'll give you
that. Hey, sometimes you gotta go back there and get your parishioners off the back pew and walk them to the.
But will the eyes and ears be watching Jackson State like they did with Prime not being there? Because let's be honest.
No, they will not.
So is that really sustainable though? Because we know a lot of people was watching the JSU football page because of Prime, because of Travis, because of Shador, and the things that was around Jackson State, not Jackson State itself.
Will a bonfire continue to burn if you don't keep throwing logs on it?
Now you're right, and that's the point that
Hey, we gotta get this dude on TV, man.
That's what I'm just saying. Will a bonfire continue to burn if you don't throw logs on it?
Are they going to continue to pour into TC the way that they did Deion?
Prime.
I think they will, but he has only thing. If you in a presence like that, whether you like him or not, you gotta take. See you if.
Well, and hold on. Let me say this part. Let me say this.
Will never say, "Well, I'm gonna take this from him, and I'm gonna take this. I got this from him." I wouldn't give a damn. I got it from Freddie Krueger, man. That way he cut that meat up, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm just saying.
I also look at it from this standpoint too, though.
Mm-hmm.
When you say it's clear, Prime was not brought there for X's and O's.
Damn.
Okay. TC is a coach.
Yes, absolutely.
TC is a coach.
That's cool.
So TC, I don't, like I said, I don't know the man personally, but he don't come off to me as somebody you saying he need to go hire him a PR person. TC
I didn't say he had to do it. That part.
No, but what I'm saying is he doesn't even come off as the type of person who is really going to be coaching, who's really going to be like for real. Like he is the head coach and he is all about coaching. He ain't gonna even want all of that around him.
I just got lost. But see, I don't see TC. I think he's an innovative thinker. See,
he may be an innovative thinker, but will he want cameras around all the time? Will he want all of that? Like all of that over?
I don't think nobody wants it all the time. Like Prime. I think it'll be a nice balance when they had the cameras on, when they had the cameras off. You know what I'm saying?
If you got that's just a part of marketing now.
I know that's a part of marketing. Like the football gonna have a social media page, basketball, baseball. We get all of that. But what I'm saying is you having cameras in your meetings, you having cameras while you doing this, you having cameras.
Yeah,
like,
that's
coaches who really coaching, they don't want all of that around them because they too focused on making.
And guess what? Buddy Pugh in South Carolina State didn't have no cameras, and North Carolina Central didn't have no cameras. And we see what happened. He stayed to Celebration Bowl. So I agree with Cuz in that part.
Exactly.
Sure.
I guarantee you now in the MEAC and those conferences and coming out of those states, look at the division of resources in those states. See, when I went back in the state of Mississippi.
Oh no, because Buddy Pugh
Blackburn, South Carolina, they
Buddy Pugh was working with nothing.
Yes, they ain't got
nothing. Probably worse than the schools in the SWAC.
Absolutely, especially South Carolina State. You looking at Howard and West
Carolina. But no.
He got out coached.
That man, Buddy Pugh could only recruit in Carolina.
But he got out coached. We said that how many times? I said that earlier.
They got out coached 2 years in a row. Let's be honest.
Not 1, 2. He got out coached. The kid, now he had the kids ready to play. Lil Sanders came ready to play. The whole team. The team. Well, I'm gonna tell you, we got
but to go back, the speech that he gave after the SWAC about the portal, he had 4 defensive linemen that got in the portal and wasn't even able to play the Celebration Bowl. So him saying that and making that comment kind of hurt him because
that's what he got to do.
They was running the ball right up the middle.
He got to hold himself accountable for that.
He got to eat it.
Like I said, I don't like the way he handled some of the things, but you know what? Hey, when you make a decision, I got to move on. Guess what?
Yeah.
Now this team calling, if I'm not gonna take it, or if I'm gonna take it, yes, I got I gotta go and let it be known because it's out there.
But hey, man, tell people how they can follow y'all. Rod, give them the IG page. And Keisha, shout out to the Lady Longhorns volleyball team, the national champions.
I can't wait till January so we can welcome
girls,
them
they
back.
did it. Absolutely, that's so dope, man. I'm so happy for them. But go ahead and give y'all final remarks and how can people follow y'all and support y'all and what y'all doing?
Go ahead, Keisha.
I had to look at my own Twitter. I don't even know what it is. Because my Facebook page now, that's that ain't really.
That's for the fam.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Twitter is K Shelby Sports.
Shelby Sports.
Man,
make sure y'all hit her up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't be talking about a lot. I just kind of snap off sometime, or I'm gonna talk about a little sports stuff. I don't be saying a whole lot. But
Right.
It's High Rod from Rolling Fork, the home of Muddy Waters. You can find me on TikTok at bar_Puddin_Russell. You can find me on Instagram under Hot Rod. You can find me you looking for me on Facebook too. That's family stuff. But if they dropping a check off on Facebook, y'all can go on with that kumbaya. I know what you're gonna do in the back corner. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and take this right now. I don't tell what I'm gonna tell it like it is up front. Look. But yeah, you can follow me on. It's High Rod from Rolling Fork, the home of Muddy Waters. I appreciate Cuz for bringing me on. These two right here, I said, man, I'm outnumbered. They
that's why I said some of this conversation gonna have to continue next summer when we in the backyard.
For sure.
then I can get real raw.
Man, look, I love it, but the one thing it's a genuine, especially I know with me and Keisha. I went to Jackson State in 93. She went to Alcorn, come on at 95. You know what I'm saying? She was really into her school life. I was just a work kid. I'm trying to find me a job, get me a little check real quick. But the whole experience from totality, we love HBCUs. My thing, I just love coming out of where we came out of high school and junior high, whatever, and then going to hell, it's just like we went to HBCU in elementary school and
exactly, and that's what when somebody asked on Twitter, I think it might have been today, like when or how were you exposed to HBCUs? And I'm like, I was born into it.
Yeah.
Like our teachers when we went elementary and junior high school, they went to Alcorn, Jackson State, and Valley, so we saw it all the time. Going to high school day, all this stuff. And again, even before then, it was family,
right.
Going to Jackson State games, going to games at Valley, going to games at Alcorn. It's what we knew. Even when I thought I wanted to go to like when it was still Memphis State, you know what I'm saying? I thought I wanted to go, but it was like, I'm still gonna stay over here and was headed to Jackson State clean all the way up to junior year in high school, because I was going to Jackson State. I wanted to be a cheerleader. And ended up at a completely different school doing something completely different. So
that's dope.
But I just like for kids to see it and to not be afraid, to choose us.
Right. That's real.
Choose us, don't just go to school.
Right.
Get the whole experience.
Yeah.
Go to the games, like do all of that stuff, because it's like family. Like I don't care how they try to recreate this stuff at these PWIs. You can't. You cannot. This ain't no barbecue sauce. You can't bottle it up and sell it.
Nope.
You gotta be there. You gotta be there. You gotta really, really experience it. I mean, you can't recreate this at another school because it's just not going to be the same. I don't care how they try to make it. But I'm just all about people being engaged. Support your HBCU. You know what I'm saying? Don't just graduate and abandon it. Like show up, be involved, be engaged. It's the only way we're gonna keep us.
And can I say this as an outsider real quick, Roger? I'll let you have the last word, Roger. I'm gonna say this as an outsider.
Go ahead.
All my family that go to HBCUs, don't kill us when we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes y'all be like, well, y'all will push people away because you feel like they don't know enough. Don't do that. Just embrace them and teach them. You know what I'm saying? Embrace them.
And that's the thing. But I like that you like to ask questions.
Right. Like I said, I lived down and I got inundated going to Jackson State games. Those 3 years I lived down there, like I got into SWAC football and I got into the culture because I was down there. I'm like, I'm here. I might as well be a part of it. And I was ready to learn and willing to learn. But sometimes, like, I see how HBCU grads do brothers and sisters from PWIs. And I just be like, oh, that was necessary.
Like I just said, when they want to talk about
stupid.
Y'all got this, but we do this at the PWI, but it ain't the same.
It's not. I ain't gonna lie. We do not want it. It really gets under our skin. I'll be ready. Hold on.
Because you want to try to tell us you're recreating our experience.
No, you can't do that. That's
not doing it. And then you want to compare. And then
you be on
the ones who over the past few weeks, well, if y'all would increase y'all alumni giving, maybe y'all could afford this. Maybe that's why I'm gonna need you to stop.
That's when you gotta stop. And right. That's horrible.
They get a big piece of the pie.
Because if you look at the numbers, PWI
they ain't
alumni giving is not. They have the endowments. They have more state funding. Stop it. Stop it. So, but thank y'all for listening.
And this is another part of the backyard conversation. I had a one-on-one meeting with my AD here Friday. When I tell y'all, coolest dude ever, but that's a story for another day. Right. But the numbers that man showed me,
right,
yearly,
right,
that I poured in here.
Right.
It'll blow your mind.
Man.
That part.
I'm talking about folks just dropping 10 million like it's $10.
The Matthew McConaughey's of the world, cats like that.
We don't have it.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, if y'all in Arlington, go check my cousin out again. Salute to the lady Longhorns for winning the national championship. And also, did you post that article on Twitter? She sent me an article about their star player, Eggleston is her last name.
I think I put it on Facebook, Roger. You need to go to my page.
Read that, man. It's inspirational, man. Powerful about their star player. Great read, man.
Yeah.
Very smart, articulate young lady who will do probably 10 times greater things outside of volleyball than she'll do ever on the court. So I was glad you sent me that. It was a great read.
She was the one who led all the Black Lives Matter stuff here.
Yeah. Beautiful young sister, man. Beautiful young sister. So
she gonna be big time. We gonna see her again.
Absolutely.
And I believe in a political space.
Absolutely.
She for real.
August Garvey Jr., I'm proud of you.
I just came back from Jamaica. I went to Marcus Garvey's hometown too. So it's funny you said that. I just was there the other day. So
that one your name gonna be Lil Marcus.
Lil Marcus. I'll take it. I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, but keep doing your thing and keep educating. I'm gonna tell you like this. I love debate. I don't know if y'all can tell.
We know.
Really sit down one day because I just like to play the devil's advocate. Sometimes I might even be thinking the same thing that you're thinking, but we can't have a debate.
That's how you fine tune your ideas when you put them under ridicule. So I agree with that all the time.
And clearly it must be, a family thing because,
yes,
that side of the family, I guess we know how to really, for real, like we know how to agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's what change comes about. I always say,
yes.
Change when you get people in a think tank and you throw a crosstalk.
Yep.
And then you're like, you know what? I ain't think about it that way.
Yep.
And then you come to a common ground, and then you move about, some change. But you know what? I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Great spirited conversation.
This is my first podcast. Come. This is my first podcast interview. Look, I'm gonna sit like this on the hand.
What we gonna do with this boy right here, man?
I have no idea. I can't wait for this to be edited and aired.
My dude gonna edit it. He gonna be like, man, y'all went for 2 hours for real. So yeah. So my boy gonna edit it and have this out hopefully this weekend before Christmas so everybody can check it out. But I appreciate y'all time and I'll see y'all soon, man. Peace and love.
All right. Bye, y'all.
All right.
Love y'all.
Love you.